What is an industry secret that you know? Ever had those expensive Ghirardelli sundaes at their stores? Yeah, that's Dyers ice cream with homemade hot fudge. Save yourself $16.02 and just buy the $4.95 bottle of Ghirardelli hot fudge and get the rest at the store. Recipe: 5-ounce scoop, hot fudge, 5-ounce scoop, more hot fudge, whipped cream, crushed almonds. Some plus-size models get liposuction on their face and necks to be more aesthetically pleasing. Used to screen resumes for small companies. Job requirements are more of a wish list situation. Never let some unchecked boxes deter you from applying. You have no idea what the applicant pool is like. The biggest boon, especially at small companies, is someone who legitimately cares. The blue flakes in your laundry detergent are just the white flakes dyed blue. If you're shopping online, start the checkout process and then, before paying, close your window. You'll very likely get a coupon with a discount over the next few days in your email. Theater seats aren't all the same size. Some are narrower than others. We use a variety to manipulate the sawtooth arrangement so that you look through a gap between heads, not straight into the head of the person in front of you. That means some seats are better, i.e., wider, than others. Just last night we were playing a gig and my guitarist said he was going to show us a little trick he uses to get everyone on the dance floor. Over the mic he asked everyone to come up in front of the stage so we could get a group picture of everyone who came to the show. As soon as he got the pic we started playing and everyone stayed on the floor until the end of the set. It was a great. When you're buying a higher-end refrigerator, you're basically only paying for fancier doors. Most of the inner workings are the same, just a different door configuration. I used to work in the appliance industry. There's a good chance your college TA is surviving lectures by staying one chapter ahead of you in the textbook. Thrift shops throw away a lot of donations and there's bugs in the back more often than would make any customer comfortable. It's not a secret, but Hollywood promotes many lies about my job. I'm a fire sprinkler tech. Hollywood always shows every head going off during a fire. Only the head that gets hot goes off. If it's a 10-story building and a fire is on the first floor, why would the heads on the 10th floor go off? Plus there isn't enough water for that. Pull stations do not set off sprinklers. They are only tied to the alarm, not the piping. The only reason it bugs me is because it's life safety, and if someone hesitates to pull a pull station during a fire, people die. Vehicles are offloaded from roll-on, roll-off ferries, aka Roros, in a specific order for weight and balance reasons. If you are nice to the crew and give us cookies, you will be offloaded sooner. If you are verbally abusive to the crew, you will be offloaded last. Dead last. For weight and balance. Never take the first settlement offer. Always counter. When dealing with savvy parties, the initial settlement demand is often twice the amount of money that the party wants. Chefs don't use secret ingredients, they use practice techniques. And tools, like a thermometer and a timer. Those two tools will separate you from 95% of home cooks. If a radio station says they're taking the XTH caller, they're not. They're just taking a random caller. I worked at a radio station and they told me to just get a winner. Dawn dish soap is the single best way to clean up an oil spill on the small scale. The US government went to great lengths to try and make their own cheaper in-house equivalent of Dawn for cleaning up oil, but they found that they couldn't make it better or cheaper than Dawn already did, so they just buy Dawn. Most of the bugs found in video games weren't missed by the testers. There was a production decision not to fix them. 20 years ago I bartended at a place that rhymes with Schmapplebee's, and when serving the regular bar drinkers, I would ask if they wanted a short or a tall beer, supposed to be 16 versus 23 ounces, and I was surprised that they would always order a short one. So after a while I asked one of them why they always ordered a short one, and he told me to fill a tall with water and dump it into a short and see what happens. Literally is the same exact amount of liquid, never order a tall or mucho anything. The mucho is literally extra ice and club soda with no extra booze. Cheers. The military typically disposes of old vehicles by parking it somewhere on a large base, and abandoning it. Sometimes they use them as training targets. It's cool but eerie to see. I know where there's a lake that's full of Sherman tanks. They drove them out there in the late 50s in the winter and left them to fall through. Water coming from wastewater treatment plants is cleaner than the river water it's going into. The main problem is not enough dissolved oxygen. That's seriously the biggest danger. Meanwhile, the worst pollution for most rivers is runoff causing high biochemical oxygen demand, BOD. AKA too much food for bacteria that also consume O2, so just like the danger from the wastewater treatment plant, fish suffocate. All the random stuff from metal finishers is stopped before it's allowed into the sewer system. If the system is working correctly. In the restaurant industry, the secret is that the special sauce is often just a clever blend of the same condiments you have in your fridge, mayo, ketchup, and a dash of mystery. Depending on the specific deal and artist, Ticketmaster splits all those fees with the artist, sometimes at 100%, in addition to the face, door, price. Plus the artist gets a guarantee. The fees are part of the price of the ticket, and Ticketmaster takes the heat for the high prices so the artist can look good for the fans. Source: built the software Live Nation used to book these deals. All the most famous living artists have workshops full of people who make the art for them. They spend their time choosing concepts, talking to their gallery reps and schmoozing buyers. The only time they touch the work is to sign it. You know those adverts that show someone who's maybe a bit overweight and kind of out of shape, but then they follow this diet or use this one bit of equipment that's being sold, and suddenly they're super ripped and fit? Yeah, those people are almost always professional, or at least semi-professional athletes. They take the before pic when they've just had an injury/surgery/illness that kept them from training/working out, and the after pic is just them returning to their natural state when they're back working out, etc. It doesn't really have anything to do with the diet or equipment being sold. The $3,000 a month one-bedroom condo you are renting in the heart of a very large city probably has bottles of urine behind the drywall. They really need to put more washrooms in large construction sites. Rich people give their expensive art to art galleries, and the galleries have to pay for insurance and restoration while it's in their possession. The gallery then displays the art for a number of months or even years, and when the rich person wants it back, it's worth even more money now that it's been on display at a famous art gallery and garnered interest. Basically allows rich people to print money. I design slot machines for casinos, don't play slots. Food expiration dates, especially on shelf-stable foods, are essentially arbitrary. Nutrition labels are often wildly inaccurate. It is technically not legal to use false information, but it's very, very rare to be caught, unless you are making health-related claims. Those food certifications that you see on food labels are provided by for-profit companies that bill you monthly, so they are highly incentivized to certify as many companies as they can and actively ignore violations. A shocking number of ingredients that are illegal or heavily regulated in other developed countries are perfectly legal and mostly unregulated in the US. The same companies that make store brands at higher-end stores like Wegmans and Whole Foods make them for cheaper stores like Walmart and Aldi. I could go on. Healthcare's falling apart. Everyone is burnt out.